Welcome to Ask Fear and Greed, where we take your questions and do our best to answer them. I'm Michael Thompson, and hello, Sean Aylmer.
Hello, Michael.
Sean, today's question, I love this one. It has come in from Lisa on Instagram, and you can go to Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or our website, fearandgreed.com.au, and send your own question through. Lisa's done this via Instagram. She says, "Hi, Sean and Michael." Just one day I would like someone to say hi, Michael and Sean, but it's probably not the occasion for that. You mentioned on the podcast that the Reserve Bank Governor has committed to keeping cash in the economy, even though fewer people are using it, and it's getting uneconomical to move it around. Why are we so wedded to cash? Who is actually still using it? Why don't we just bite the bullet and go cashless? Surely we'll end up there one day anyway, so why not now? Great question.
So it's actually interesting because the answer's not quite as obvious as you might think. So the general view is the people who use cash tend to be older people, and often people like lower socioeconomic groups use cash more. That's what the theory is. However, a couple of years ago, the Reserve Bank released a report on consumer payments. What was interesting was that the use of cash has gone from about 32% of transactions to 16%. I dare say, this is 2 years ago, so I dare say it's even lower than that.
Yeah.
The big change was COVID-19. People didn't want to use cash, and as a result, they kind of used cards, and that really pushed people. What was even more interesting in that was that it isn't anymore the older people or the lower socioeconomic people that use cash. In fact, well, there's not much difference across demographics, geographies. Like they used to say country, rural areas would use cash more, but connectivity is so much better in most of those places now. That's not the case. And so that smaller, the 16%, let's say it's probably 12 or 13, could even be 10% now. It's actually across all demographies, locations, that type of thing, which I think is fascinating.
That is fascinating. But you're also saying then that if we were just to transition more quickly, we're not going to be discriminating against any particular demographic more than anybody else. So why don't we just do it?
Well, because some people still want to use cash. So that
do you, Sean, in your pocket right now have any physical cash?
You know the funny thing?
Oh, you're actually going to prove me wrong now. You're going to bust out it.
$5.
That is a crisp $5 note.
The reason is that at some point in the last week, Jackie gave me $20 because we were going for a walk, and her mother, who is 86, had given her the $20, like she gives her cash to go and get her groceries.
Yep.
And so sometimes, and I had the $20 in my pocket for about a week, and only this morning we went for a walk, and I said, I've got the $20, I'll pay for it that way. But, that's the triple but there.
Yep.
Never do I have cash.
No, and I'm even finding it hard. I try to teach our kids about money, right? And it's so much easier with pocket money if you can give them coins and give them cash and help them build it up. And so I took them to the museum to see this exhibition, and they had saved their money, and they were allowed to buy something in the gift shop. And they had all of their coins and everything all saved up, ready to go. They went up to the counter with their coins, put their money on the counter. They said, "Sorry, we're cashless only." I'm like, how am I supposed to teach a parenting lesson here?
So that's an interesting point, because the government is actually going to ensure that some services accept cash. Now, I'm not sure about the museum. I don't know if that's going to fall into it.
It's probably a non-essential kind of thing.
No, but I'd imagine supermarkets, for example, will definitely have to cause cash. And the fact of the matter is that some people prefer cash. Sometimes you don't have access to. So I've been to country towns where I couldn't use my card, and I've actually said, I haven't got no cash. I've gone back, emailed them the money because it's too hard to actually get connectivity. So people still want to use it, and the governor said, we will ensure that's the case. Michelle Bullock last week at the Reserve Bank said, yep, we will ensure that cash remains in the system. The big challenge there is that shifting cash around the place is now no longer economic, because there's not enough of it to be shifted around. So that's kind of why the government has put money towards allowing that to happen. But people still want to use it.
A couple of quick points. You see the value of cash when there is an outage with a bank
Yes.
or a blackout or something at a shop, and all of a
yes.
sudden you can't tap
Yes.
or you can't transfer your money, and you are suddenly reliant on you scrounging through the car, kind of
Yes.
looking for coins and things to actually pay for things. And so you're like, okay, all right, it's nice to be able to fall back on that if it's there. The other question though is the cash economy and the impact on tax, right?
Mm.
There would be a fairly significant incentive for the government to try and kind of get rid of the cash economy to a degree, right? Because there is a fair bit of money that changes hands without ever going via the ATO.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like money laundering. That's what you're inferring, money laundering. And I mean, that's not what you mean, because most people aren't laundering money. I don't quite understand, though, why we should get rid of cash. Like, my mum, who's 93, in fact, 93 on Friday. Happy birthday, Maureen.
Oh, happy birthday.
She always has cash in her wallet, and she doesn't sort of, as she's gotten older and where she lives, and that the value of cash is not overly relevant to her in a sense.
Yeah.
But it's like a security thing for her just to have it. And she never spends it.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't go out much and whatnot. But
well, we've seen those stats as well on just how many notes there are in circulation and how many notes are believed to be kind of tucked away somewhere, under mattresses, in roofs, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is just staggering to think. Do you think we will ever get there? Do you think we will ever actually be really nearly 100% cashless?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Like, by far, I think it's about 70% of cash comes from ATMs. People, that's how they get their cash. And then there's about 15% or so that actually go to the bank to get it. And about the same amount actually get it from family members. So, like, as a gift, they get that. But, I don't think that it will be stamped out somehow.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Maybe I'm just bitter because of my museum experience.
That's right.
I'm just holding on to this thing. Fine. If you won't let me use cash, I'll never use cash again. That'll teach you. Look, I think we've answered Lisa's question.
Yes. It's kind of one of those questions I sometimes struggle to get. Why do we want to get rid of cash? I don't think we should get rid of cash.
Okay. All right. Well,
for my mum's sake.
No, and that makes sense. That maybe, but though, as that number, that 16% becomes 12%, becomes 10%, becomes 8%, that we almost become de facto cashless anyway.
Yeah. And I do have $5 in my pocket, but I never use cash.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Thank you, Lisa, for the question. Thank you, Sean, for I don't know whether it was answering it or discussing it, at
Thanks,
least.
Michael. Thanks, Lisa.
Remember, if you've got something that you'd like to know, then please send through your question on LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook, or head to fearandgreed.com.au and send it through the website. I'm Michael Thompson, and this is Ask Fear and Greed.